Howdy, y'all. This is Dr. P. Mark Taylor, and we have made it through more than half of the semester. You're working on your qualitative assignments. I'm about to begin grading assignment 7 in depth, and I wanted to look at the next 2 assignments with you. So I better hit share screen and see what happens here. All right. Well, man, there's a lot of words in assignment 8. It's because there's a lot of directions, a lot of things to think about. And you already heard from myself and Dr. Sohn in the video on assignment 7 and a few other things. And like I said, I'll be looking at those today. But in assignment 8, which is due tomorrow, June 8th, Tuesday, you will be looking at qualitative data. This gives you a background of how you go from data to analyzing the data and beginning to come up with the answers, so that it's an in-depth process. So there's a lot of words. There's this wonderful video that was done by one of your colleagues that came a few years ahead of you. And I just ask him questions and point things out about his coding process, which he made really clear in his dissertation. So that's why I included it and asked him to redo that so that you could take a peek inside the window of his work and see what coding looks like in the process. It's not a clean process. Yet you can do it by hand, you can do it with post-it notes, you can do it with everything, but what you can also use software, of which there are many kinds, and that's pretty easy to look up. Max QDA, I think, is the most popular one for those Carson Newman students. That's Max QDA. But most people actually do it by hand, very much like in the example video. Now, the thing on the very tail end of assignment 8 is about coding. So the instructions are at the top. It says read the transcript and then do these 4 steps. Just begin open coding, which if you see something that you find meaningful to the research question, you highlight it, you do something, you put it aside, words, phrases, could be a whole sentence, and give that a name. What is that code? If the sentence was, I belong to Dr. Taylor's class, somebody might find the meaning that you just identified yourself as a participant in my community. That's meaning. You're going to look at this transcript down here, where you know the research question is, what are the forms of child oppression? And it's a deep question, and there's a lot of things that could be oppression. It could be bullying, but it could be deeper than that. So read through a couple of times, do some coding. a lot of people would copy this and print it out and do some highlighting of things that they find meaningful in terms of what the term oppression means when it comes to students and what they're dealing with. So just do your best, and after you're done coding, go back to the instructions, and it says post a response to list your open codes, and make sure you share like the raw data and the code. That is right here, identifying the raw data and the code that describes it. So in the example I just gave, I'm a member of Dr. Taylor's class, means I took that as they're identifying themselves, just like you can identify yourself as a race, you can identify yourself as a member of a church. In this case, you're identifying yourself as a member of a class that's part of a program. So that's the meaning I would have assigned to that. So you list the raw data as belong to Dr. Taylor's class, and the code would be identifying as a member. So okay. There's lots of different ways that this thing could be interpreted. Your list is not going to be the same as everybody else's, and that's okay. That's one of the reasons why we're having the discussion, so that you can see what other people saw that maybe you didn't, or you labeled it differently. It's how you begin to learn about coding. So you need this experience, so that if you do a qualitative study, that you will have done some coding and seen how other people code, so that you can begin to wrap your mind around how the process starts. So and tell us next, after you share your coding, you tell us what other data you would want to collect, because this is one little bit and you would like to know more. What other data would you want? And then discuss the meaning of the data as related to the question. In other words, start taking your open codes and saying, okay, if I put these together, does it begin to answer the question? Is there a pattern? Is what meaning did I glean out of this? And it's one piece, one thing. You're not going to answer the full question, but you did begin. And this kind of thinking that happens throughout the whole process in a qualitative research. So read these 4 points, bullet points, very carefully, and go back to them and make sure you include all of those pieces in your post. So that's assignment 8. Sorry about scrolling so much. Now I'm going to look at assignment 9 with you, because I have opened assignment 9. It is available for you to look at, not just here on this video, but it is available for you to come look. The main reason I opened it today is because if you haven't done it already, you need to make an appointment with me. Go back to that same worksheet. And when you click on the worksheet, you will see the original schedule, which was quite packed. And you'll see that a lot of you have scheduled already, and that's good. I need to update my numbers here. Obviously, more than 13 people have scheduled. I'm doing that manually. So I will look forward to you filling this in. The appointment times are starting tomorrow and going through Saturday, there's well more than 70 slots available. If you're wondering why these areas are blank here, 2 days I have medical appointments, and the other days I'm training for the Senior Olympics, which the competition for Tennessee Senior Olympics is the day after class ends. So I have to train. You got a life, I got a life. So there's a bit of time for me to handle life issues, and then you should all be scheduled by halfway through Saturday. So get on there. If you're not on the schedule yet, please get on there and prepare. And then you will go to the meeting. And in this meeting, yes, we're going to talk about the qualitative worksheet. But the truth is, if you're intending to do quantitative, be prepared to revisit that, because no matter which direction you're leaning right now, I want to spend most of our meeting time talking about that, and that will help prepare you for the final assignment and then moving on into your dissertation. So if you want to talk more about quantitative, be prepared, have your worksheet open so we can zoom and look at it together and go through the details. But I think most of you are going to use your time to just focus on qualitative, and that's good and healthy and fine. There's no reason you would have to look at quantitative. I'm just making sure those people who plan on doing quantitative studies know that it's okay and good to use this time to discuss that further. Now that that's all clear as mud, that's the scheduling link. This is the Zoom call link. As a full Zoom member, I have a meeting room that I can just leave open. It's like I'm sitting in my office, and you as the students are coming in and out at your appointed times. Some of you might cross over a few minutes, and that's okay. But it's the same link for everybody. Don't ask me what the link is, because it's here. It's the same link. Did you hear it? Here's the link. Look, it's in assignment 9, right there. All right. I do look forward. I loved having our discussions about the quantitative and just your dissertation goals in general, and working out details. So I'm looking forward to doing that again. And this time we just get to see each other's faces along with that. We also get to share the worksheets. You can do a screen share the way I'm doing now. And so if you haven't done that before, you'll get a chance to exercise that. I will expect you to have the qualitative worksheet ready to share, open on your screen so that you can screen share. And if you want to talk about your quantitative more in depth, have that ready as well. And I'll see you online. We had a lot to talk about today. Now I'm gonna go finish grading assignment 7 for everybody, and then start in on assignment 8, and I'll continue that till it's done. But it's not due yet, so I'll have to keep revisiting. After tonight, during the next few days, if any assignment from 7 on back, if you don't feel like you got the full credit, ask me to double check. I'll go look and either tell you, yeah, of course you deserve full credit. Sorry, I missed that. Or I'll tell you what to do so you can get full credit. There's no reason for not getting a full 10 points on every one of those. So please, please, please communicate. Use the communication method that's proper for everything. The Zoom meeting scheduling, the proper communication is the spreadsheet. The Zoom meeting is this Zoom link, and questions that you have that won't fit into that, or are just reminders, hey, could you go look at assignment blank and make sure I've got full credit, you can text me. All right, I think I've covered everything. I'm sorry if I rambled on a little bit, but there is a lot going on, and we're getting closer to the end. The only assignments after 9 are evaluating quantitative research and then qualitative research. And yes, you are qualified. Barely, but you are. We need your input. Your discussions on this will be really interesting, I promise. And then the final thing is doing a PowerPoint and presenting it according to the instructions on the final assignment. Other than that, it's just getting those chapters done. Duly remembering that I will go in and on the last day of class and put zeros in any quiz that has not been taken, and that will affect your grade. So make sure you take them all. I love you. God be with you. Have a blessed day.